Okay, hey, I want you all to understand something real quick, fast, in a hurry. There is nothing that these people are going to do but stage play and grandstand, which is just a soft form of calling people hypocrite or being hypocritical. There is no solutions in this country whatsoever at all for the physical financial cliff that we're heading over. None. They have no solutions whatsoever at all. Many of you don't know. Many of you do not know what's going on behind the scenes because simply your so-called free press will not report to you the facts. Our country, the land, the businesses are all being bought by foreign entities as we speak right now. I mean, China is buying up all the wineries in California and shipping all the wine overseas. Now, there's still a few domestic wineries that are left, but they're shipping. What they're doing is they're buying up the land, they're buying up the home fronts, and they're putting their people in this. And what they're doing is they're taking all the resources and shipping it back to China because China is positioning itself as the next world ruler. That's why I keep continuing over and over and over again telling you, younger generation, you need to learn how to speak Mandarin because that is going to be the next language of the next ruler of this world. And the way it's shaping up, no doubt about it, is going to be China. The United States of America, we are in so much debt. And I'm telling you, that ain't nothing they're going to do. I'm going to tell you what their solution is going to be. Print more money, get into more debt, kick the proverbial can down the road. And what's going to happen is that one morning, you're going to wake up and find out that the balloon is burst. That everything is literally come off at the seams. You see, right now, what they're doing is they're keeping the rage of the American people in check. And they're doing that simply by printing more money, lying to you about the real truth of what's really going on because they do not want to cause any type of instability, civil unrest here in this country because they know it's going to be riots. And the news media is not going to report the facts to you and I of the real true condition and the real true so-called economic health of this country because we're sick. We're literally just sick. We're living on a hope and a prayer, and that's it. But you have to stop listening to these people whose sole intent is to deceive you. Sole intent is to deceive you. You get ready. A lot of people getting ready to die because we just got finished celebrating a holiday, which this Bible right here doesn't speak about yet. They call it a Christian nation. And mind you, the Christians are supposed to get their doctrines and their teachings from the Hebrew scriptures. Is it not jacked up how the whole world is deceived into this? If you can't see this, how can you see the financial condition of this country? If you can't see the truth in these areas and yet you still, whether you understand this or not, love to partake in devil worship. Hey, you deserve exactly what you get. It's only those who prepare themselves. So here's Pastor Dow's solution. Don't you believe a word that's coming across that TV camera. Not one word whatsoever at all. You need to go out. And no matter, every single time you go out, you buy a canned good. And you put it in some shelf, in a wall, under a bed, bury a cash, do something. Because most of you have never even thought about storing up any food. And some of you, even after hearing me, my heart hurts. And my heart literally aches when I get people coming to me over and over and over again. And I'm telling you, that happens all the time. Pastor, I wish I'd listened. Pastor, I wish I'd listened. You see, what happened is that while everybody else was losing their home, and while everybody else's the job that they used to have is gone overseas, they never thought that it was actually going to hit their backyard. And you know what happened? It hit their backyard. You in this country, you got corporations that are telling people, okay, you need to move from California, let's say like to Tennessee or Kentucky over here, because we have offices there. They move over there, and within a month, they get laid off. These people, I'm telling you, self-preservation. I can't say this thing any clearer. Self-preservation. Your job, all the things that you think you got, because it ain't your job anyway. They don't owe you anything. You see, you cannot live this life dependent upon the so-called benevolence and goodwill of others. You've got to learn how to make your own way. That's why, communities, starting off with humble beginnings, it's going to be the norm. And it is a norm. In this society that's literally gone mad. Everything that you've dreamed about, all debt-based. Everything you thought that was so true and so right, hey, it's over. It's game is over, and it's been over for quite some time. Listen to me. Get out of debt. Did you hear what I said? Get out of debt. Get out of the cities. Get out of the population centers. Get out of there. You don't want to be caught there when civil unrest take place. Have you not paid attention to how humanity acts whenever there's a crisis? Get out. Start buying and storing food, and it's just about almost an impossibility to even get ammo nowadays. But, there's one thing about Barack Hussein Obama. The gun manufacturers, they ought to thank Obama more than anything. I mean, they may not like him as a president, but you know what? They have made record amount of sales and record amount of profits ever since this man been in office. Every time he opens his mouth, every time he gets elected, every time he says something even remotely close to guns, America, bam, run to the gun stores and buy everything. I mean, everything they can, they can go boom. You have to change your mind, because the news media, the people who are controlling finances, they're not telling you the truth. The banks are not lending any of this fiat money or this so-called liquidity that they're getting from the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve, which is a foreign entity, the Federal Reserve Bank is a foreign entity. There's nothing federal about it at all. As people said before, it is about as federal as Federal Express. And you know how federal that is, right? I guess if you throw the name federal up there, that would cause people's minds and conscience to be diverted to make you think that it's some type of government entity. And because people don't use any independent thinking whatsoever at all, you're not just going to continually keep ignoring these things and hope that it goes away like a bad dream. It's not going to go away. Year after year after year, I come up on here and tell you how bad it's getting and how bad it's going to be. And no doubt it's reflecting. It's reflecting. You're seeing it. You're seeing it before our very eyes. Can you tell me that this country has gotten better or worse since 2008? Somebody talk to me. Somebody say something. Come on. Come on. Somebody talk to me. Huh? Or you too busy trying to choke down that nougat that you got in your throat and stuff because you know I'm right, and saving faces become a commodity, and you hate to admit it. Hate to admit it. Get out of these cities. Start making moves. Get out of these cities today, right now. Make moves. I'm doing whatever I can, all that I can. And, of course, it takes the help of others to do it, to help people to get out of the cities. I've got faithful people that are scattered all across this land that I'm trying to help create an environment so that once civil unrest and crap hits, that these people would have a safe haven and a place to run to that is already prepared. Because I understand that a lot of things that I'm saying is easier said than done. But you have to understand, I'm not telling you this because I just started doing this yesterday or a few years ago. I've been doing this for almost 17, 18, 19, almost 19 years. I started making moves, what I'm telling you, 19 years, and I'm still preparing. And you know what? There's one thing I discovered about preparedness. You never are prepared like you think you are. I've always discovered it. But anyway, they're not telling you the truth. And you're a fool. You are a literal prating fool if you believe anything that the Congress, the House, the President, anybody says in this country. You are a fool and you deserve exactly what you get. You better start listening to people who have, you can't call it common sense because it's become so uncommon today. You can't even call it common sense. And of course, I've already lost many of you because I resent the fact I hate being called a fool. But you look at your life. Look at your life. You're still living or trying to live like you did 10 years ago. Would that not be a fool? You haven't made any adjustment. Your eyes hadn't been open and things are not getting things are not getting better. Things are getting worse. And if you don't make any adjustments, if you don't make any improvement, if you don't make any changes whatsoever at all, would you not be a fool? Somebody needs to shock your mind. Somebody needs to talk to you in such a way because, hey, that's why I put a big emphasis on truth. If you can't embrace truth in small matters and small things, it's a direct reflection of your character. It's letting you know exactly who you are and what you're going to do. It's one thing for a man or a woman to admit that they're lazy. But it's another thing to admit that you're lazy and then live your life to do something against that particular type of a spirit. Am I making any sense? Because being lazy is just not going to help you prepare. You ain't going to go hocus pocus and then bam, some land going to appear. You're not going to go Rumpelstiltskin and then all of a sudden, boom, you got a home there with water on the land and food stored. No. You better get out there and see these hands right here. You better get out there and do something with these hands right here so you'll be prepared. Well, Pastor, I don't like the way you talk. I don't like the way you hear. Now, we have a dilemma, isn't it? Well, the dilemma is if you don't like the way I talk, turn the dial. But I do know one thing. As a pastor, I'm doing more to give people direction both in the faith and out of the faith than all these bootlicking pastors out there who are running around in their Lear jets, their fancy Bentleys and their big $1 million mansions and they fine, luxurious homes and you people paying them all. You still waiting for your ship to come in. It's just a sick thing. I'm telling you. 1 acre of land with a small trailer is looking real good for the American dream. I don't care how pessimistic you think I am. I am being very optimistic when I am sitting here staring you in the eye and in the face. I'm not hiding behind cameras. I'm not hiding behind voice overtures. I'm not going out attacking those who mean you good. I'm not doing that. I'm actually telling you what you need to do. Now, it's up to you. It makes no difference to me. I'm preparing and going to continue to keep on preparing. And there are other people who have the same mindset as I do. But I do know this. You keep doing the same things you've always done. When that belly hits that spine, you're going to remember every word that Pastor Dow ever said. Yeah, you are. And then you see those children belly aching and starving, you're going to remember every word. Then all of a sudden you're going to get challenged by thoughts of injustices. Yeah, you are. All of a sudden, you're going to lose what you call the civil mentality. And you're going to become very uncivilized when you hadn't prepared. Because you're going to do whatever it takes to feed that family, even if it's necessary to eliminate your neighbor next to you. That's why you have to get out of those population centers. Oh, boy. Man. How many other pastors are talking to you like this? They're not going to talk to you like this if they're living in them cities. They're going to keep you right there. You know why? Because they're there. Oh, mercy. Why you want to get out of debt? Because the borrower is a servant. That means slave to the lender. And then you know the reason why our country, all the land is in hot to China. Every bit of it. And China's now gulping up the resources. So we got China buying up whole states. And we got the Federal Reserve buying up real estate and expensive homes. You know the reason why? Because we are $104 trillion in debt. That includes unfunded liabilities like Medicare, Social Security, and Medicaid. And what do you mean Social Security is unfunded? Social Security should be in a surplus. Have you considered all the people who worked all their lives, died in their 50s and 60s? Where did that money go? They never got it back. It did not go to their family for the laborers that they had, since it was kind of like a savings program. Where did it go? I'll tell you what happened. Those politicians who've got kind of like a heroin addict, they have an addiction for spending. Heroin addict has an addiction for heroin and can't stop. These politicians got an addiction for spending and waste. So they can't stop. So now, Social Security, we're looking at the next generation. You can forget about it. 10, 15 years from now, we ain't collecting on no Social Security. I told you. I said it once, I said it 1,000 times. The United States of America is on its way to becoming a third world country. People laughed at me. They mocked me. They jeered me when I started talking like this in 1996. Well, here we are in 2012, staring right at the door of 2013, and our country is in a literal mess. I mean, just a mess. People are going crazy. They jumping out of buildings. They shooting folks up left and right. All under Obama's watch. All under Obama's watch. The financial system is collapsing. He has spent more money than all the presidents put together in the history of the United States of America. And you know what their solution is? He's going to leave his vacation in Hawaii and go all the way back to Washington because we're going to do something. No, you ain't. All you're going to do is put on a shirt and tie, sit back and listen to so-called experts, and put us even in more mess. That's exactly what's getting ready to happen. And we're in debt. We are slaves to China. The utopia of the American dream is over. There ain't no last-ditch effort to save this country. This country is over. We're living on a dream. That's it, right now. And you better wake up. And when you do wake up, you're going to find out you left the dream. Now you're living in the nightmare.